Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. I haven't uploaded in a while because I was busy making projects for other people, but I am back in full swing again. For this project, the Woodworking Association that I've joined annually has a project register that you can choose and do. So for this year I've chosen to make what they call a desktop organizer or drawer, as you can see in the picture. If I'm not mistaken, it comes from Fine Woodworking, and I'm going to do something similar like this, except of using the brown wood. I'm going to basically use light European beech wood, and then for the drawers I will use, I think, cherry, just to make it a little bit different. So here are the main parts for the cabinet structure, the European beech wood that I'm going to use. But as first as always, each part will have to be shaped accordingly. So I've done all the donkey work off screen, and here I'm basically showing finishing one of the pieces, the final thickness that I wanted. The first part that I'm going to start with is basically the frame for each of the sides and the back wall, as well as the bottom part for the cabinet structure. Here I'm basically squaring each end before I'm going to make each part. Instead of using mortise and tenon joints, I'm going to make a groove on the top and bottom part of each frame, and then the tenon can actually fit inside the groove and slide until where I want it to be in the final position. This will make it probably much easier and quicker to do the frames for the project. So after making the grooves, here I'm busy making the tenons that will fit into them. So after completing all the parts for the frame, I need to actually make the panels that will fit in between the frame itself. So here I'm sawing the parts for that, and each will be basically split and then jointed together to form the panel itself. Here I'm basically gluing the panels together, as you can see, for each of the frames. Once the frames are finished, I'm just cutting it or sawing it to the correct size for the frames. To make each panel fit into the corresponding groove, I'm just chamfering the edges so that it will slide easily in later on. So I'm not flattening the whole panel per se. Here I'm adding a rabbet to the back side of the frames. And this is basically when I join the frames together, the two sides and the back side, there's more glue area at the end of the day. Before I can glue the frames together, I need to make rabbets here, or grooves here, for the drawer guides to fit into. One last part to do before fitting the drawer guides correctly is basically to scoop out the high parts of the frame, as you can see here, to make it sit flush with the frame itself. With that done, it's finally time to glue up the frames, basically the two side frames and the back side frame, as well as the bottom frame for the cabinet itself. Now after the glue up for the bottom, I decided to basically drill holes, as you can see here, and then use wooden pegs to glue it in place, just to add strength at the end of the day. I could have used nails, but in these cases I prefer to use wood where I can. Now that the main parts of the cabinet are glued up, it's now time to make the lid for the cabinet. So here I'm basically once again preparing wood, and as you can see I'm using basically a plow plane to remove the majority of the waste, and then after that I will use my normal plane to get to the correct size. And here I'm basically just joining or gluing the panels together, basically beech and some cherry to make some nice patterns for the glue joint. And after glue up and some finishing off and dimensioning, this is basically going to be the lid, or basically going to be the top part of the cabinet drawer. So for now, before I'm going to glue it in place, I'm going to add some nice trim to it. It's only going to be on the sides and the front of it. The back is going to remain as is. Here I'm just using basically a rabbet plane to help me. And after some more elbow grease, here's the final finished product for the roof or the lid of the cabinet, and it is now ready to be glued into place. So with the roof now glued in place, the final part now to make is basically the drawer guides. So once again, these are the front parts, adding basically grooves again to them for the other guides to fit into them. And what I'm busy with here is basically the side guides for the drawers. They're going to fit into the front piece, into the grooves, and that should be good enough. I'm using Kiart wood here because that's what I had left over from other projects, and it's quite a stable wood at the end of the day. So here you can see basically the mechanism. The Kiart piece or the side drawer guides will slide into here and be glued into place inside the drawer. And of course, before we're going to glue everything in place, the front of the drawers will be added to decoration, as you can see here. Right, with all of that done now, basically we can glue each piece in. So I first start with the front guide, glue that into place, wait for it to dry, align it correctly, and then after that I will glue in each of the side pieces. And as stated just before, here basically I'm gluing in one of the side guide rails for the drawers. So this is it for this part. Basically the main cabinet is now completed. What I need to do in the next phase is basically add the trim to the bottom, add more design trim on the sides, and also the runners for the drawers. So thank you very much for watching, and hopefully I'll see you in the next video. Cheers!